Welcome to Looking Through Purple Glasses. Here's your host, Laura Levy.
Thanks, Mosier, for the intro, as always. I greatly appreciate it. Today, Looking Through Purple Glasses, with me, your host, Laura Levy, and I am joined today by Becky Sellers. How are you?
I'm good, Laura. Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely. It's going to be fun. So Becky is here today. We're going to talk a lot about women in hockey. Colorado has really grown in women, girls getting exposed to hockey. A lot of that has to do with the Avalanche. And so I wanted to have Becky in today and talk about kind of how she got started, how the community here is growing, and then we'll kind of talk about an event that's coming up. So let us know how you kind of got into playing hockey.
All right. I'll try to keep it short. So I grew up in Massachusetts. And I grew up with an older brother. He learned to skate when he was 2. Wow. I was 4 when I was on skates. So I would chase after him. My dad would take us down. We'd do pond hockey.
Oh, fun.
And, a lot of times I'd get stuck in goal because I couldn't keep up, but fine, whatever. Back in the day, I'm a little older. Okay. So the girls didn't play hockey where I was from, right?
Okay.
I just did pond ice hockey. Moved over, played soccer growing up, did that through the years. I think I was 45.
Okay.
And I heard about an event up in Superior, the sports stable. And it was a why not? And I was like, all right.
I'm all in.
Hockey, I'm in. And my husband's awesome. He plays baseball.
Okay.
Full on hardball. I go to all of his games, probably 60 to 80 a year. So
oh my gosh.
He was like, I will take you, because it's a drive for us.
Okay.
So I went up, I tried it. And of course, I fell in love. And that was my first time ever having pads on, full pads. And
all right.
I'm beaming ear to ear, sent it to all my friends back east, like, look at me, and then never stopped. So I've been playing now for 8 years.
Wow.
So yeah, it's fantastic.
It's kind of surprising to me that up in Massachusetts, they wouldn't have had a women's, I should say girls' exposure, just because now, I mean, I think that, that's probably one of the other parts of the country that...
Absolutely. So now, tons of female hockey, girls hockey, all of that. But again, back in the day, because this is before Title IX. Right. So, and, my parents weren't ones that we were going to push the envelope and try to have me play with boys.
Got it.
Which if they had let me, I would have been okay with that. But
yeah, for sure. Yeah. I have been on a pair of skates once in my entire life, and I get asked a lot because of my love of the game and the Avs and everything if I play. And I always laugh because I've only been on skates once, and I held onto the ledge the entire time because my feet were not underneath me.
Right.
And so we have Hawk in the room as well. Becky, aka Hawk. So I am very good friends with Becky Hawk. We've been friends for a long time, and she got into hockey, and that's sort of how I got brought into women's hockey. And I grew up in Colorado Springs. We didn't have a lot of girls hockey down there. I know there's a lot of girls teams down in Colorado Springs now. So just like you said, decades ago when we were growing up, and just to see how much it has progressed since, we've been around is just super, super impressed with the people that have laid the groundwork to do that. And so do you have a position that you usually like to play?
No, I play all over.
Okay.
I've tried everything except for goalie. So lately I've been playing a lot of defense. So I've really enjoyed that.
So you can skate backwards pretty well?
Yes, that was, yep. I'm okay.
Good. Yeah, that's something that a lot of people don't know is if you're going to play defense, you got to be able to skate backwards more than if you're playing in a forward or center or whatever, right?
Yes.
So let's talk a little bit about the opportunities for girls to get involved if they've been thinking about hockey. Like, how would you suggest that they kind of start? Do you have any sort of recommendations?
There's actually a ton of programs, I think, around the metro area that have, just even learn to skate. So like you said, you're like, I've gone on, once, but you can start at learn to skate and they'll teach you, forwards and backwards and crossovers and things like that. And then there's programs that can transition you up to, and if you're an adult, 18 and over and stuff, there's a lot of adult learn to play programs across the metro area. For women, like I said, there was a program up in Sports Stable. I think there's one coming for South Suburban that's doing some things specific to women. And then DWHL is so the Denver Women's Hockey League is a great organization to get in. And it's games, super supportive, very open environment. And they have novice, intermediate, advanced. So I started in the novice. They provide women donate their time and come and coach you and again make it really supportive, and I'm still friends. That's how I started 8 years ago, and I'm still friends with the women that I started there and still playing with them. It's fantastic. I
have learned with hanging out with Becky Hawk that it is quite a community, and so I think it's amazing to have a women's girls sport where it is a community, always uplifting and always supporting each other, because I don't think in necessarily a lot of the sports that it is as much as hockey is. And I think that it crosses barriers, right? I think if you look at the professional men's hockey teams and the NHL, I think you get a lot of that as well. I think it's one of the sports that is less me and it's more us.
Yes.
And so I've had people that have approached me about getting their kids to start in hockey, and they're afraid of the cost of equipment because they always think that it's going to be one of the sports that it's going to break the bank if they get their kids into hockey. I don't know the answer. I don't know what to tell them. I don't know if it is on the more expensive side or
I would say it's on the more expensive side. There's a lot more equipment involved. Like I said, I grew up playing soccer and basically needed cleats and some shin guards. And I was the goalie, so I needed some gloves, right? And that was about it. And the cost of field is pretty cheap, right? Sure. Ice time and all of that. It does add up a little bit, but there are ways, I think, that you can cut the cost. So when I started, I went to Play It Again Sports and picked up all used things at a very reasonable price. I got skates for $35. And they're great. They lasted me several seasons. So that's what I encourage people to do is go look for secondhand, used items, borrow from your friends and family, that kind of thing, and give it a try. And then over time, you can switch out. Of course, when children are growing, right, you're switching out a lot more frequently, but then there's a lot more available, too, for kids, I think, to get that secondhand. Yep.
Well, go ahead, Hawk.
Just get over here. I was going to say, too, for women, the Denver Women's Hockey League allows you to pretty much loan out for free all the gear except for a helmet and skates. So women can try it. They can use the gear for a whole year and see what they like. And if they enjoy it, then just like Becky said, you just switch things out as you get committed and start buying your own equipment. So
awesome.
Lots of ways around it.
Lots of support. That's amazing.
Yes.
Ice. I mean, I know we talk about ice time. So are there a lot of rinks around town that are hosting games, matches, whatever?
Games. Not matches. Games.
I couldn't come up with the right, I'm like, games?
Are you asking specific to women's or just overall?
Probably in general. I think that a lot of people would think that because of the cost of the sport, you're going to see more rinks probably down south in the South Suburban Highlands Ranch area. Now, I know there's a big one that's just north of me in Westminster, but are there lots of sheets of ice for people to be able to, if they're up north and they want to do it, they can find a rink up north.
Right. Yep.
That's what I was trying to get to.
I would say there's a lot around the metro area. I think I would say the southeast metro area does not have a rink really, but then you go south, like South Suburban, Family Sports. And those are, good for Highlands Ranch, Parker, that area of, and there's South Suburban put in a brand new facility, and there's 3 sheets of ice. Wow. There. Family Sports has 2. So there's I would say generally, yes, there's a ton of ice. It's actually hard to come by. I try to schedule practices for my women's team, and I can't find ice time. It's really a challenge.
Wow. That's good and bad, right?
Exactly.
Well, the other reason why I wanted to have you in today is talk about this tournament that's coming up in May. Mother's Day weekend, I believe.
Yes.
You want to share a little bit about what is going on that weekend?
Yeah, we're super excited. There's a Mother's Day tournament, or it's also called the Front Range Face-Off, and it's a USA Hockey sanctioned sponsored. They've been running it the last couple years, and Hawk, Becky, the other Becky, Hawk, came up with a great idea and approached USA Hockey and said, hey, we would love to do a fundraising component, and Dog Nation is going to be fundraising during the tournament. So it's a collaborative effort. Thank you. That's the word I was looking for. And it's just been wonderful so far to work with both organizations, with Dog Nation and USA Hockey. So USA Hockey will be running all of the logistics. There, you can register on their website, and there's 3 levels of hockey. We've got novice, intermediate, and advanced, and they're going to take care of all of those details. And then we're going to really focus on Dog Nation, Becky and I, and try to fundraise. We have a wonderful person that needs our help in the community, in the hockey community, and so we're really all about trying to help her empower. This is about women. It's a women's. It's fully 100% women's tournament. So all about women and just having a really great time, and hopefully, making a little bit of money for someone in need.
Perfect. And if you've listened to the podcast, I had Marty on a couple weeks ago. He's the founder of Dog Nation, and you also know that I'm an ambassador for Dog Nation. So it's bringing 2 of my worlds together, having friends that play women's hockey and being able to help with Dog Nation. We do have a lot of opportunities for people to sponsor, and we are really excited about working with women-owned businesses. But I'm going to tell you, if you're a male and you still want to support women's hockey, don't let that deter you from getting involved. So we have a bunch of different levels that you can participate in sponsorship. And I will put a link below in the summary of the podcast on where you can access information on those sponsor levels. It's going to be a lot of fun. I know you've got 24 or so teams right now that are registered. Is that right?
Yeah, we have a total of 26 teams that we can register, and I think we're pretty close. We're like at 22 right now, so we're getting
really close.
Yep.
It's going to be fun.
Yeah.
I will be there most of the weekend too, for representing Dog Nation. But we encourage people that if you want to bring your girls to watch some matches so that they could kind of get up and close, they could probably talk to some of the players, get a good feel of what it is. I think that'd be a great opportunity if parents want to bring their girls and watch a game. But yeah, I think it's going to be a great opportunity for exposure, not only for women's hockey, but definitely, working with the U.S. Hockey Association and having such great support with them, handling, like you said, all the logistics. It's going to leave a lot of room for us to be able to make it a really great event. So definitely looking forward to it. It'll be here before we know it. Other than sponsorships, is there really anything that we could ask people to help with? Do you need any more volunteers? Do you need some volunteers? So if you're around and the Mother's Day is Sunday for all you mothers out there, I know, but Saturday there would be opportunities. If you wanted to do some volunteer work, you can reach out to either myself and I can connect you with those people, or I'll put Becky Hawk's information here as well. But yeah, is there anything that I didn't touch on that is maybe good? I will tell a very quick fun story. So in my previous mortgage experience, I did a lot of business with KeyBank. And KeyBank is has been historically one of the supporters of the Avalanche. And so I got invited to go down and skate. This is the one time I've been on skates at the Pepsi Center. And there were 2 players that were there that you could take pictures with. And one was Ryan O'Reilly, and the other was Eric Johnson. We are actually recording this episode right after the NHL trade deadline, where Eric Johnson has come back to the Avalanche. So perfect timing for the story. And when I went up to get my picture taken, I said to both of them, I've never been on skates before. What's your advice? And Eric Johnson said, don't fall. I'm like, that's not really advice. Like, that's going to probably happen. So anyway, we joked about it. And then Ryan O'Reilly said, up in Canada, the way we teach kids to skate is with a chair. He's like, so if you take a chair out there with you, he's like, you'll be, the kids will laugh at you, but that's how we teach kids when they're 2 and 3 years old to start getting on skates. And so I went down, they gave us figure skating skates, which I've also figured out is not ideal to learn how to skate. No. And I said, do you have a chair? And they looked at me funny and said, no. And I was like, Ryan O'Reilly told me that I should get a chair. And so, yes, that was our one time around the ice at the Pepsi Center. And Dave and I both were like, yeah, we like watching it much more than we do playing it or, playing anything on the ice. So I'm super excited for the tournament in May, and I am proud of what you ladies are doing for the community here and growing the women's sport in hockey. And yeah, we'll put a couple links below. And like I said, if you have any questions, I'll connect you with these ladies, and we'd love to see this continue to grow. So thanks for coming by. I greatly appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right. Bye.
Bye.